Dungeon crawler adventure games were always few and far between. However, for a time, several prominent developers began to push fantasy-style dungeon crawlers to capitalize on the success of titles like Gauntlet and Cadash. One of them was Data East, which produced Gate of Doom in 1990. Called Darkseal in Japan, the title was a distinct isometric adventure game loaded with wizards, warriors, dragons, and skeletons. There are 4 characters to choose from: the knight, wizard, bard, and ninja. As you may expect, each have different strengths and weaknesses, and represent 4 different fantasy archetypes. In practice though, the biggest difference between them is probably their attacks. The knight is armored and uses a flail that can spin around and hit enemies around him. The wizard shoots bolts of fire that spread out, and she has the best range. The bard uses a lengthy spear to pierce enemies, and the ninja attacks at a distance with throwing stars. In the arcade startup screens, each of the characters present themselves with the cheesiest introductions I've ever heard. In case you're confused about which characters were which, get a load of this.
I'm the knight.
I'm the wizard.
I am the bard. I am a ninja.
But hey, I guess that's voice acting in 1990. It's so bad, it's actually good, in a fun, endearing way, of course. As you beat on enemies in Gate of Doom, your character's magic meter on the left side of the screen fills up. Whenever it's full, you can trigger special abilities that end upon the consumption of the bar. For instance, you can transform into a whirling tornado to sweep through enemies, a giant metal ball to plow through everything in your way, and even a flower that emits pollen. Alright, that's a unique one. I don't think there's much rhyme or reason behind which special ability you get, it just seems randomized and various characters can take on the same forms. During the course of your adventure, you can get afflicted by several status ailments, and let me just say, these are pretty darn annoying. Poison turns you purple and drains your health, and confusion reverses the controls so you have to move the joystick in the opposite way you want to face. In terms of gameplay, Gate of Doom compares similarly to Arcus Odyssey for the Sega Genesis. You can travel in 8 directions including diagonals, and it was honestly pretty smooth. There are holes you can fall down though, and sometimes the ledges are packed with enemies, so you definitely have to be a bit careful here. There are also times where it's hard to aim properly at the enemies, especially the ones that fly down from above, but this doesn't seem to hinder you too bad for the most part. There are large bosses at the end of each stage, and most stages have strong mini-bosses as well. Gate of Doom does a pretty good job of avoiding monotony by varying the enemies, level layouts, and boss intervals. I never really felt like I was doing too much of the same thing the whole time. The bosses are also very visually impressive, and were just huge. Considering that Cadash came out just 1 year before this one, these bosses look many times better than those, and that's pretty impressive. Another fun aspect of Gate of Doom was that in between stages there are several storyline bits. It's almost like the quirky dialogue between the tower levels in Magic Sword, but with a bit more depth. As for the story itself, demons and devils of the underworld have broken through the Gate of Doom because the kingdom of Etruria has been corrupted by wickedness. According to a prophecy, 4 heroes will emerge in the chaos to confront it. By finding the magic gem and magic crown, they can lock the Gate of Doom and stop its evil minions from flowing through. One of the best parts of this game, I think, was the fact that when you die, you can choose from all 4 characters rather than being locked into the one you had selected. This was a great way to maximize your effectiveness against some enemies. For instance, this Warlock boss gave me a particularly hard time until I switched to the Wizard, whose range made the fight much more manageable. Overall, my favorite was the Knight because he seemed to be the most powerful in many cases. Put into this game's terminology, I am the Knight. Overall, I really liked this game because it definitely played to my fantasy-minded interests. There were few arcades like it, and it really stood out for its uniqueness at a time in which the future of the arcade industry was a little uncertain. If you like Magic Sword, Cadash, Arcus Odyssey, and Dungeon Magic, I think you will really enjoy playing through this one. It's not too long and can be beaten in about 45 minutes on an initial playthrough. If you do try it, make sure to use all 4 characters during your journey. Compared to North America, Gate of Doom was much more popular in Japan, where it was the most successful table arcade unit of the year according to Game Machine magazine. It was given a sequel in 1992, which was localized under the name of Wizard Fire, and I think that was even better than Gate of Doom. The core gameplay was retained, but the graphics are better, and there were 5 classes instead of 4. It also had a host of new abilities to use. If you like this review and remember Gate of Doom, leave a comment below about the most memorable aspect of the game to you. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell below to be alerted upon the addition of new ones. Also, please consider supporting my channel via YouTube's Join feature to receive member exclusives, such as advanced videos and complete video transcripts.